Welcome to episode 185 of Folks Talking Sports. I am Chris Gardner of the Houston Round Ball Review and Folks Talking Sports. Joining me are colleagues Kenitra Pulliams. How are you? She's watching the Longhorns close out Arizona State in softball. Are you still happy?
I'm still happy.
And Laquita Thompson from Extreme Heat Sports Management. How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
And rounding it out is Mr. Adolphus A.D. Moore from the AdMax Corner, also part of the Houston Round Ball Review Media Group. How are you, sir?
Excellent, sir. Excellent, ladies and gentlemen. How are y'all?
Doing well. This will be a fairly brief show. Let's give some softball updates. Surprising one. Mississippi State eliminated Oklahoma earlier today, winning
That's
in Norman
shot.
to close out win that series 2-1 with a 6-zip shutout. 6-0. Texas Tech eliminated Florida 16-7 to win that Super Regional 2-1. And we're, one out away from Texas eliminated Arizona State, leading 5-zip, what I have on my phone. As, AD, I'm not really sure why I love her. I'm really not. I don't know, because things like
Hey,
that, see, I would close, I should turn off her camera. Putting the Longhorn fingers up like that. I mean, really? But my mama and granny and godmother and auntie, raising better. So I'm going to respect my queens like that. So
Appreciate
congratulations, Kenitra, Laquita. We're going to talk some softball. Any thoughts on today's scores? And good evening to this queen as well, Queen Wanda Polk.
that. Well, I mean, like number one, just Oklahoma being shut out at home. Like Oklahoma is kind of the definition of softball, just with their sustained success. I mean, you want to say dynasty, they've earned that, but being shut out at home by Mississippi State to a pitcher who had only thrown 12, I think she'd only thrown 12 pitches all year.
Wow.
Um, and
Wow.
it was just phenomenal. And the Mississippi State coach played collegiately for Patty Gasso at Oklahoma. So there
Oh,
was
wow.
a long embrace afterwards, just about how that went. And like the pitcher, I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, from Mississippi State. Today's her parents' anniversary. She lost her father 10 days before the season started last year. She underwent surgery in December. So, like, she was very emotional just about what her team was able to accomplish because yesterday, Arkansas made it. Today, Mississippi State made it. Those were the only two current SEC teams never to have made a women's college World Series. Now they can both, check that off.
Mm. I said last year when I watched it. Last year I watched the whole thing. This year I've kind of been in and out. But for some reason, after I watched it last year, I said, you know what? The next coming years, it's going to be some changes on who's making what. Just by looking at the talent pool of what I was looking at and how they were competing, I was like, oh, it's going to be some changes. But it's still a shocker that Oklahoma got beat like that today at home. I don't care what happens on the landscape. When that happens in softball, that is like wow. And I didn't get to see the game, but my goodness, that's a shocker
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, and then for and the thing is because they're in Norman, and so it's like, well, are the Bulldogs going to go home? Are they going to go back to Starkville? They're like, no, they'll just stay because Norman to Oklahoma City, they'll just stay.
why
Mm.
not? Why not? All the finals over with. I mean, they. I mean, really,
Yeah,
ostensibly speaking, school's done. I mean, all the colleges are done, so they might as well stay there. Why waste that travel trip and expose your team to something might happen on the road? Stay there, and plus the alumni probably, with them staying there, you'd be surprised how much more money they might collect just from the alumni, just from being there and winning.
Mm.
and
And
as
her
they
name is
say,
Delaney Everett, Mississippi State's pitcher. Delaney
Delaney,
Everett.
and as Delaney said, underdogs are
Mm.
still dogs.
There you go. I love that. I'm gonna have to use that. I like that.
So congratulations to them. Texas Tech is, I guess, the one Big 12 representative in Oklahoma City. Is that it?
UCF lost to UCLA yesterday, and then Arizona State. They won the
Lost to
first
Texas.
series. Yeah, they won the first
Right.
series or the first game in the series, and then had the lead for much of game two until Houston's own Victoria Jackson with a pinch hit home run
Hmm.
on Saturday,
Houston's
and
own. Well, I tell you.
and
There we
then
go again.
Here we go again. It's never ending, and let's we're gonna get into the NBA playoffs in a second, but Houston's own committed to Baylor
Hmm.
from Hightower, right, Laquita?
Yeah, from Hightower.
So if you can share some on her commitment, and she's what, one of the top players, top centers in the class too.
Yeah, Kiki. She's a big. She's like a post player. She's ranked in the state of Texas. She's highly sought after. Collegiate wise, she was one of the top, hoop girls, the ESPN. Everybody knows her and everything. And she's going to Baylor, and she's coming out of the city of Houston. And when I looked at that, and I'm looking at the roster that U of H is trying to put together, I was like, you know what? That would have been a great mix with who you're bringing in. Again, I still am going to harp on when we do not have, we're not keeping our kids, man, and they're the good kids that are leaving our city, and it still irritates me, and I can't say if they didn't try to recruit her or not, because I did see them in some of the games, so I can't say what was laid out, but still the fact that she's out of here and that was one of our tops, that's just still, it just bothers me to no, not none.
would would it sting less if she went one out of state or two outside of the Big 12 conference?
For me, mm-mm. you know I mean, and I get that and I understand that, but because how I look at it, whether I'm right or wrong, I don't see the work being put in within the city to be okay with it. Like if I seen them in the gym, and that all these things that are happening local, all the big tournaments, I would be like, I would rest easy. I'll say, okay, because sometimes it is good for kids to get out of the city, but I don't see them heavily everywhere that I feel like they should be
Mhm.
more of to capture them. So, that just leads me to say, are they doing the work? And no offense to the staff, but are they really and truly doing the work, or are they using one or two experiences to base the rest of your recruiting on those experiences and not doing the work because you feel like it didn't work or pan out before? So I don't know.
Well, what if it came down to NIL and Baylor
Bingo.
offered more than in Houston? What if that's the case?
Bingo.
Yeah. I always forget about that, but then I also know that what I know behind the scenes, there's ways to package things to make it a good enough incentive for a kid to stay locally, especially one that that isn't going to like require millions and millions of that
Sure.
kind of that middle tier kind of thing. There's a way to package some things to make it more of an incentive for that kid to stay here.
So, Laquita, let me pose this question to you: is it that the local schools are not utilizing their corporate connections in trying to facilitate maybe holding these kids here as part of their overall umbrella for an NIL package?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. They're not being creative enough or working hard enough in those areas to build that part of the opportunity in incentives for players. I don't feel like they're like really utilizing what's around this city to capture that NIL and add to that package to keep players here. And that's a personal opinion. I could be completely wrong, but I don't. If you look at
I
the
don't think you are wrong.
I mean, we're surrounded by resources and corporate and partners, and the alumni. The alumni is wanting to be more active, and I don't think they're utilizing them like they could either.
Well,
Is there any consolation in getting a player of the caliber of Justice Carlton to come back to leave a Final Four team in state to transfer to Houston?
Yeah. Oh,
That's got to be encouraging.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't want to be Debbie Downer because I'm not. Because I think what he's doing right now, he's doing a pretty decent job in what they're bringing in. They got a player from Spain coming in. They got another big coming in. So he's doing really good, and that's huge to bring justice. And I think with her, having that playoff experience is going to add a lot more to that roster mentally, as well as what she'll be able to add to the court as well. But still, just would absolutely love the opportunities to build around that locally, to bring in that fan base, to fill up that gym. Because those high tower fans and the fans around the local, man, they would be there. Because that's another thing we need is we need those the seats filled as well. But yeah, that definitely is great that Justice is coming home. I'm very happy about that, and so
and,
is
and
Chris.
it's for sure. Yes. Justice is a junior. He's going to be a junior. Or is he going to be a senior?
She's gonna be a junior.
Junior.
So Okiki could have played with her next year, along with Madison. Could that have been a deterrent from her perspective? I don't want to come off the bench. I'm trying to give the staff benefit of the doubt, even though I'm upset they didn't keep a local player from Hightower in
Yeah.
town. But is that a possibility?
Well, position wise, I don't think thinking like that position wise would sit right because they play two totally different positions. But I
Okay.
think but I think ultimately it probably was just the NIL opportunity was just bigger. It was probably just bigger, to be honest.
And Coach Mitchell, he got the top JUCO player, committed and signed in Esmeralda Enriquez, and then young lady from Spain, point guard, who I think will turn 18 in October.
Yeah.
But the talent upgrade is definitely there overall. One of the top players from, where is she from? Reagan McCown is from the OVC at Western, what was it? Western Illinois. She was
Yeah.
all conference and all that kind of stuff. So talent is there. Talent is improving.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get from the bottom of the Big 12 this year. So that'd be a step forward. I think they're going to could be competitive to be in the 9 to 12 range of the Big 12 this year rather than the 13 to 16 range. So that'll be a step forward for sure. Definitely should win more than one conference game for sure.
Yeah.
But saying all that, we're going to get to the NBA playoffs, Eastern Conference, and I hate the fact for both sides, Willie Gibson is with his nephew who's graduating.
Hey.
So, one, congratulations to his nephew. Two, I miss Willie giving me grief for Cleveland smacking Detroit behind out in Game 7 last Sunday. He did that in a text message to me, AJ, and AD. But I would return in kind, giving him grief on the fact that looks like the Cavs have quit on the Knicks as they trail 3-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals. But we'll save that for another time. I want to play comments from head coach Kelvin Sampson from, I think it was Wednesday, the coach's caravan in town. I wasn't there, but this is from colleague Chris Baldwin from Paper City Magazine. I'm going to put the videos be on the screen so you won't see the four of us on there, but we'll be listening in the studio. But if you haven't heard it, seen it, listen to what Coach says. I know he's already received some haters, and I'll have comments to say about them too. But here's video from Coach Sampson, and I'm curious to hear from Kenitra, Laquita, AD, Queen Wanda, and everybody watching us on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. But here you go, head coach Kelvin Sampson. You're watching episode 185 of Folks Talking Sports here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch.
So I've done some background research
or why we don't raise money at the level that the other schools do. And I think basketball is a great example why. Our last really good year nationally in basketball was 1984. That was the last year we were on the national map. And so you think about the generation that went from 1984-85 to 2017-18. Think about all the graduates and all the classes we had during that time period. None of them had a habit of supporting our athletic department financially. So nobody did. So when we get here in 2013-14, we're an American Conference. But we were not an American Conference team. We were more Sun Belt. We were more Horizon League. We were more Texas. We were closer to Texas Southern than we were Texas. We had no money. We had no money. Yet everybody gets mad when things don't go well. My days are, I don't have a lot of years left, and that's fine. So I can say things like this. I'm saying it for Matt, I'm saying it for Willie, I'm saying it for our volleyball, our swimming and diving, I'm saying it for our new baseball coach. We've got to be supported at a higher level. You guys understand that?
Yes.
Now, you're here. You are not the problem. You're here. You're part. Everybody in this room is part of the solution. I can stand up here and blow smoke at you and say, we're going to win a national championship. I don't know if we got a good enough roster. We're going to be damn good now. But there's teams in the Big 12 whose rosters are significantly more expensive than ours. And that's the name of the game today. People say, I don't like that. You don't have to like it. They're not trying to please you. But if you want the University of Houston, if you want Coach Fritz to win at the level that LSU does, you know the difference financially in LSU and Houston? Is anybody in? It's not a bridge, it's the Grand Canyon. Yet, because of a guy like Coach Fritz, we're competitive. Our basketball program doesn't matter whether, at Duke was a pretty good win, right? Had 3 guys drafted in the top 10 in the NBA. But we took our guys over there and beat them. Tennessee, Purdue, Gonzaga. That's not just that year. This year, A&M. You can go back every year. We're maxing out just about every year. But we've got to raise our level of giving. One of the human being's greatest weakness, greatest fear is to ask for what they want. That's why some guys suck at fundraising, because they're scared to death to friggin' ask. I ain't afraid to ask. I know what Kansas has got. I know what it's like to walk into Fog Alley with 18,000, or go to Hilton Magic. Iowa State's great program with 16,000, 15,000, whatever it is. Go to Arizona. These are unbelievable programs, and we're competing with them. Don't be surprised. We're not here to compete with them. We're here to win. We've been in the Big 12 3 years. We've won the Big 12 twice and finished second once. And next year's team, be right back there again. Can we win the league? I have no idea. We got to play 18 games. But I know this, our roster has to continue to evolve up. And the only way we're going to do it is support. Kansas fans ain't going to give us money. You know who's got to give us money? You guys know? Who's got to support the University of Houston? You do. You do. I tell people all the time, don't bitch if you ain't giving.
Preach.
Amen. Amen. Okay. And let me say this, and then y'all have at it. I am a proud alum of the University of Houston. But everything Coach said, I have lived directly. for 30 years of the Houston Round Bar Review. Directly. Going to people who are alums. Yeah, Chris, yeah, I love what you do, man. You want to? No, not really. But Chris, I didn't see you on the road. Huh. Really? I wonder why that is. But have at it. Mr. Moore, whoever wants to go at it. Who first?
Ladies.
Don't be
All
shy.
right. Well, hey Chris, I mean, you know what? While I'm sitting here listening to Kelvin, to Coach Sampson, I'm thinking about a quote from Bo Schembechler way back, and I'm going back that far because he was talking about the amount of money that they raised at Michigan, and he was sitting there saying that this fullback will be able to get a science department a big grant because virtue of what they do in that stadium on that stadium on Saturday afternoon, because the alumni will seeing them win, and that's going to be an advantage for the science department. Think about what he's saying. A fullback, because that's when they were running the full. When you talking about Schembechler and Woody Hayes, all of them. But the fact of the matter remains that the amount of monies that they are putting, proud alums are putting in the University of Michigan, you're getting a science department built because what's happening on Saturday afternoon. And basically what Kelvin is saying, and what happens up at the 48, because KP automatically understand what goes with that whole territory up there. If you want to play in the big league, you want to run with the big dogs, then you got to spend like the big dogs. You can't talk about this thing. You got to do it. You got to be about doing it. And so basically what he's saying is that because, I'm watching the University of Houston, that stadium, now that you're in the Big 12, and think about it. Texas come to town, that stadium's full. But it's not majority of Texas fan. U of H fan. If it's A&M, it's going to be the majority of those fans there. It should not be. Home field should be home field for you. And that's not the case. And to me, that's an indictment. And that's what Kelvin has just pointed out. That's an indictment on them, on the alumni base.
Kenitra, Laquita?
Yeah, I don't know the financial opportunities, for you. Who are the wealthy alums who could support the athletic department, who could support the basketball program, who could support the university? What's the outreach like to them?
The outreach is only to the wealthy people. Houston athletics, hell, U of H has really ignored the middle class, the lower, not quite six-figure wealthy people. They just ignore them. They want the $10 million supporter rather than the $100,000 supporter. So they've done that for a long, long time. And then the top folks at the top, why you keep asking us for the money? Talk to other people. Again, I've said this on every show I'm part of. 300,000 alums living in greater Houston. Imagine if all of those people, just average $100 a year. That's less than $10 a month. That is what? $30 million. Every year. Athletics can count on that. They know that they can count on. We know we got supporters coming in who giving minimum of $100. But no, oh no, well, let's only talk to the corporations, only talk to you. And then we can get into other stuff. They don't talk to people that look like us. Real talk. They don't. And as Queen Wanda Polk is a dedicated supporter of not only the Houston Round Bar Review, but Houston athletics. So she knows what she's talking about. They have got rid of some of the opportunities for giving that the middle class was active in the 46ers. That's football. So they shoot themselves in the foot by trying to only get the corporations. Not every alum is a millionaire or like Tillman, a billionaire. So for 30 years, as Coach Sampson said it, there are athletes, and this is one thing we can talk about. And Quita, I don't want to cut off your time. I give you you can claim your time too. But how many other top-notch programs you see the athletes, the alums, who are proud to give back to their alma mater? How often do you see a Houston alum give back financially to the alma mater? That's been a problem for years. Years. Oh, Laquita. I'll have more momentarily.
Everything you said was things I was writing down. When you even look where U of H is located. You
Hmm.
are surrounded in a community of people who are overlooked. I complain about this even at the pro level of how that community is overlooked and not really engaged in where in the community in which you are. You have black owned businesses all around this place that no one is really, knocking on the doors and talking about sponsorships, opportunities. You have just so many things within that community that they're overlooking, but yet you are in that community. And so I don't think like you're saying, they don't think about being creative to reach out into that community to make them a part of what you're trying to do at U of H. And I also think when you hire somebody in to come in the athletic department, I think part of that needs to be a person who is a fundraiser minded individual that understands one, now the importance of it, two, how to do it, three,
Hmm.
how to build a team, and strategically and think about sustaining that over years. But I think one of the biggest things is if they are in the community that they are overlooking year in and year in, and you have some very successful alumni who are business owners who are also black, but who, one of the women's game, Felicia is just one, and she does a lot within the community of Houston with FCA and all these different things. And they were all there. They were all wanting to be a part of it. But her complaint was nobody's reaching out to us. Nobody's, suggesting all these things to us. So, they're just not, again, they are not doing the work to step outside of those offices and walk and do some walking around that neighborhood and start pulling in the people for that support.
And Laquita is right on. I've known Fee, talking about Felicia, oh my gosh, 25, 30 years. Okay, going back to when she hooped at UH and I started covering now. And then she was chaplain for, I think, the Comets for a while, too. So we go back a long, long way. Me and my connections to women's basketball in this town run deep. But when she told Laquita and me that she has not heard from the staff from Houston Athletics, I think Laquita was more shocked than I was because I was just like, well, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, this this is how it's been since I've been around here. So on one hand, and let me be clear what Coach Sampson, he said in those comments from Chris Baldwin, and kudos again to Chris for being there. Coach was not talking to the folks who were there because those folks already support athletics. Coach is trying to get to people who aren't there, who don't go to the games, or honestly, who have not been contacted, who haven't have been touched, who haven't been told, who have not received an email or a phone call about what's going on campus, what's going on at their alma mater. That's part of it too. Now, there are some bridges that have been burned. I acknowledge that. But there are new people in charge, in athletics specifically, who should make the effort to contact those folks and say, hey, I don't know what happened to you before, But this is a new era. This is a new regime. We're doing things differently here at Houston, and we would love for you to come back. What can we do to get you involved in supporting our university? That's what needs to happen. And because I've said this, AD touched on it, we are in the Big 12 now. For a long time, when we were in the American, yeah, but who are we playing in the American? I mean, I don't want to see us play SMU or North Texas or Tulane. Or I want us to be in the power conference. Well, we are in the power conference now. So what's your excuse now? Well, we're not playing Texas. Well, we're not in the SEC. We're not playing A&M. We're not in the SEC. For all years and years, I've heard the same excuses, new crap. But I'm going to say this in a somber note. I'm kind of like Coach in this sense. I'm not going to be around along who knows how much longer. So I want this for Andy Yanez and Dayon, Kenneth Bowman, the younger dudes behind me, younger men and women behind me who are trying to get their businesses off the ground, covering the Cougs. They need your support. Don't forget about them. It ain't all about the Chronicle. It's not all about Go Cougs. You know, some of my youngsters, they make road trips. Well, all of us do, really, out of our own pocket. We're making these trips. We got to plan ahead to make these trips. So my loyal supporters like Wanda Polk, who is also a YouTube member, they already know. I plan for 3 trips. Basketball Media Day in October. Really 2 now. Media Day in October. The Big 12 tournament. And then hopefully either the Final Four or games in the tournament to get to the Final Four. That's it. That's all I can afford. Anybody else have at it? Mr. Moore, Kenitra Pulliams on the 40 acres and Longhorns, no problem them supporting because it's a habit for Longhorn alums to support their alma mater. It is a habit. They don't have a problem getting, what is the football stadium seat?
100 and, what is 100 and some, what is 102, 6,000?
Somewhere in, yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
hot
think
in Austin, right? It's hot and humid in Austin, right? In September.
yeah,
They don't have a problem
September.
selling the stadium out. But when it comes to 40,000 TDECU Stadium, ooh, it's too hot. It's too humid. Well, but they're not playing Texas. They're not playing Colorado. They're not playing Texas Tech. But you are an alum of the University of Houston. Why did you go there? Support where you got your degree. That degree, I think you got a degree, helped you get a job. Helped you pay your bills. Helped you get a house. All those things. Give back what you got from UH. This still rubs me the wrong way. But I'm going to step down now. Let's talk some NBA playoffs. Let's talk some Eastern Conference Finals and Kenitra's Nova Knicks. Was the series over after the comeback in Game 1?
Looks like
Or the
it.
comeback, collapse, whatever, depending on perspective?
KP, go ahead, because you up 3-0.
I mean, Donovan Mitchell wants to say it's just one game. It doesn't matter the margin of victory, defeat, however you look at it. And so he was just telling, whether it's a blowout or whether it's, close game, a loss is a loss. But it just seems like New York has adjusted. Even if, Cleveland can make a run and can pull within 7, can pull within 5. there's something still in the tank, that the Knicks can be like, all right, let's pivot and let's extend this to double digits.
Laquita, AD.
Well, here's the thing that sort of, here's what I noticed. Knick fans are arrogant. I mean, flat
Oh yeah.
out
Oh yeah.
arrogant.
That's New York, period.
Yeah,
But the thing about it, if I, you know, I'll pull for home, but to sit up there and watch those folks in Cleveland and the way they just sit there and just, did that, it's. I almost feel like I want to be like Ron Artest for a moment and go run up in this because hey, I'm not advocating violence, but
Just saying.
I'm just saying, thank you. I'm just saying, because I would like to see some spunk, some fight coming out of the, you know, out of the Cavaliers. I would like to see the same thing come out of the Cavaliers. What I saw come out of the Carolina Hurricanes the other night in the Stanley Cup in the playoffs. Because they got they fenders blew off of them in the NHL playoffs, and they came back the next night in overtime, and I mean 2 days from there, and came back and stood up, and then made it a series. I want to see a series, and I'm going like, and lo and behold, I hate to do this to James Harden. No, I don't. I really don't care. I mean, he's living up to his reputation. Period. You,
Or living
you
down to it.
Yeah, well, up, down, sideways, whichever way.
say whatever.
Yeah.
Laquita.
You know, I don't want to be ugly, so I'm not going to be ugly. But the Knicks, it's been so long since this has been on their plate to even get into the finals and to the championship. It's been so long for them, so it's kind of like I'm like, let's go Knicks. Um, and and they're on it because they got this thing that they got, let's go Knicks, let's go Knicks, and they're fired up in the city, and everything is just right there. So and I so it's just like I said before, like I was talking about the softball, like the way the NBA is set up now, until it's going to be changing probably season by season, just because of how the CBA is set up and how you can only do this with players and different things like that. And then you consider injuries and things like this. I think it's going to be going like this for the remainder of the NBA. We're going to be looking at different team and expectations from here on out. But, the Cavaliers let me down, and I'm just like, well, I kind of felt like it was gonna happen because of Harden. I'm just not a Harden fan. I just feel like his energy just not gonna let you get, much further than it's gonna get. But the Knicks, they just, man, they feeling it. They're hungry and they're feeling it. I think right now.
And you have to, I know they're all professionals and this is their job, but honestly, I worry about fatigue.
Mm.
Going to, having to battle back against Detroit, having to go seven, like like how much has that physically taken out of the Cavs?
Mm.
And see, that is, I'm going back to the Pistons getting waxed in Game 7. I think some of the guys are more banged up than they mentioned publicly in Detroit. I think Trey Langdon mentioned Cade is dealing with some bruised ribs besides his punctured lung. Isaiah Stewart swears 100% he wasn't. He was not the same person. I think Tobias Harris got injured early toward the end of the Orlando series. They gutted it out, but their defense in Game 7 was awful. They weren't on the same page. They looked like they quit, or they had nothing left to give. They could have been tired, banged up, injured. They just had nothing left to give. That's what was disappointing because of who the Cavs are, because of the reputation they have. I was like, fellas, just get it to 10, because Cleveland going to Cleveland. James going to James. Donovan. Donovan. Just get it to 10. They didn't do it. It went from 20 to 30. And I was like, well, it ain't happening tonight. So good luck to Cleveland. And then, because then you saw it in game one, fourth quarter, 22-point lead, right? Fourth quarter. The Cavs calved. Hardened.
Ooh.
They picked on him. And James defense, Rocket fans know.
Yep.
Seen it before. We all seen it here before. No surprise.
Defense.
Yep.
It's no deep.
So that's what was disappointing, and how the Pistons lost Game 7. And JB Bickerstaff, as a coach of the team, he said post game he wasn't disappointed in his team, and he's trying to protect his players. JB, just tell like it is, man. Game 7, that performance was awful. That performance was disappointing. The season overall was spectacular. To go from where they were in just 2 years ago to Game 7 and second round of a 60-win season, man, this season was gravy for me. Oh, man, please. I am thrilled with the direction of this team because I know this team still has some room and needs to address, which I think they will. Will the Cavs get swept and lose tomorrow?
I don't think so.
I think they'll pull off one.
So it'd be a gentleman's sweep and a go 5.
Maybe.
Saying that?
Maybe.
You can't really,
Maybe.
like gauge it like that though, because the Cavs could just be revived and recalibrate and come back, and you can't really say, even though it looks like it.
But based on what? I mean, they're getting talked about for what they did in Game 3 down the stretch. People are questioning their intestinal fortitude.
Severely.
So, will they step up to the plate, win Game 4, or will the Knicks get a big lead early and just cruise through Game 4? But Laquita, you said something minutes ago about the way the NBA is now because of the CBA and the competitive nature of everything. Laquita, this is Wemby's world now. No other team is supposed to be. It's the Spurs and nothing else.
Yeah.
And OKC said, "Oh yeah, we're the champs.
Right.
Okay, we got a great bench. We're more than just SGA."
And we flopped too.
Oh, no question. But whose fault is that? I mean, James Harden flopped his whole career. The Harden hole on his drives, all those things, for a long time, that was not called. If Shea flops, but it's not called, is it his fault for keep doing it?
Yeah.
No.
That's the refs. Refs got to call that. Refs got to see it.
Exactly.
I don't blame any player, star player, any player. Learn what you can get away with,
Sort of like the transfer portal.
and then do it. Because and same thing, NCAA, same, because here we go with this. The Big Ten and the SEC, schools in those two power conferences, were the main ones saying, we want guardrails. We want enforcement of NIL. Please, we need guardrails. So the CSC was formed. Oh, well, we don't like those guardrails now. Oh, yeah, well, now we need to discuss. We need to readjust. Don't blame us for having more money than everybody else and spending it. So, yeah, we need to rethink this, recalibrate this. But you are the same folks pushing for guardrails. Now you want to move the goalposts or the basket stanchions, go further away and say, yeah, I mean, we get $80 million per school. So if we have all that money, we're going to spend it on our players. So, hey, if we're going to spend $30 million on our roster and they can't, that's not our fault. What about the guardrails? Oh, yeah, we didn't mean that. Oh, okay. Okay. That's where we are in athletics. But I'm with Kenitra. and I'm with a few other colleagues. Iowa State AD, was it Jamie Pollard? Kenitra? Is that right? Mr. Pollard, don't call their bluff. I do not want to see the Big Ten and SEC leave the NCAA. Don't do that. Don't call their bluff. No, sir. Football is king. We all know it, much to my chagrin. No. Don't think they can, don't think, and Iowa State is struggling financially, in athletics specifically. So don't think you'll have the same chances of revenue if the Big Ten and the SEC separate from the NCAA. Please do not call their bluff. No, that comment you made, I mean, I don't know, you're trying to pull up your big boy pants and flex, but that's a fail. No, sir, do not. Find. I'm like Coach Sampson. Find the money. Find the money. Step up your game, but do not call the bluff of the Big Ten and the SEC. No. Mr. Moore, you have something you want to say? Want to add in these final moments?
Well, Chris, here's the deal. Well, the Big Ten now is in the position where the SEC was a few years back. Football, they won the last three national championships. Football, you won a basketball.
Men's and women's basketball championship.
Yeah, and so right now, it's you seen this whole you seen this the dynamics of this whole thing shift because if for a while what we were looking at Alabama, okay, if it wasn't Alabama it was Georgia, and then LSU was sprinkled in between. That's why Oklahoma and Texas left the Big 12 and went to the SEC because they felt they were looking at the dollars and cents and monies, and really they probably should have went on to the Big 10 because quite naturally when Texas went to the horseshoe this past season and got the ears boxed in, and now they got a chance to host the Buckeyes back on the 40 acres. I hope they better come down and be ready to play.
Wait, what? Yours boxed in? That was a close game.
Where?
Uh-oh.
Where? Where? No, it wasn't. That
The
game, that scoreboard might have looked close, but that game wasn't nowhere close as it should have been. Texas was not ready to play.
well,
No, they were not. Not if you want to play. Not if you think you want to be on the national championship level. Texas was not ready to play because from that they did not recover from that butt kicking they got at the horseshoe. They didn't really recover for the rest of the year. They might have won, but they have not recovered because that whole thing about Arch Manning and everything it was blown up on national stage right then. And so now everybody's sort of questioning Sarkeesian and everybody else. And I can guarantee you right now, folks might not say the seat is hot for Sarkeesian. Let him start off again like that again this year. And KP, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. That seat's going to get hot real quick.
hey, at least the strength of schedule is better than the
Then
folks in
what?
Love.
Hey, it's Lubbock. You know what? Lubbock, you know what? There's nothing else out there but the folks come over from New Mexico and catch the plane and catch the
And
air plane, catch a flight.
hey, the folks in Lubbock need a quarterback.
Well, we'll go to they'll find somebody.
It's kind of late to find somebody. If he doesn't win his lawsuit, and he's going to try.
Use that oil money.
I don't see who they're going to get at this late
Well,
date.
well,
And
with the price,
without him,
I'll tell you what, with the price of West Texas crude, what it is right now, for the duration of this conflict that we got with Iraq, I guarantee you the coffers are getting expanding real wide out in West Texas right about now.
we don't question that, but it's too late to add a talented player to the team right at this point. On the football team, you just can't go get somebody right now in May.
Unless you pull what was it, Clemson and Ole Miss,
So
and tampering the quarterbacks.
Yeah, they might do some
Players.
tampering kind of stuff, but yeah, they can't. So they might be stuck unless he wins the lawsuit. And even if he wins the lawsuit, he still might have to miss a game or two instead of the whole year.
Because didn't the judge recuse himself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
one judge recused himself. Yes, and
Oh,
that
one,
without him, that could open up the door for Houston to win that game on Friday in September.
Mm.
well, I'll be quite candid with you. Houston should be in position to win that game anyway, guys.
I
I
hope you're
mean,
right.
no,
I
We'll
I'm
hope
just
see.
no, I'm,
no.
I'm realistically, I think Houston should really be in position to win the game, whether he's there or not. I just think because this, you know, yeah, Texas Tech, with the alumni, he put together what NIL is at this point in time, and I think Willie Fritz is actually bringing players in. And Texas Tech gonna bring players in the best thing money can put NIL can put together.
Well,
Fritz is going to do a combination of players and NIL. I just think that's just my
we'll see.
observation.
Yeah.
Early in the season in September, we shall see. Tech has a very good team that money bought.
Mm.
We'll see. Houston has
Oh, that well,
developing a
Tech,
roster,
yeah,
developing
Tech.
players.
I tell you what, that roster that Tech bought, it was showing up in the NFL draft this year.
Yes,
So,
and
Yeah.
they just restocked. So we'll see if they have the same success this year.
well, yeah, we'll see.
It's tough to duplicate it. We'll see. But last thing, Commissioner Yormark will speak to the media with the media this Friday, coming Friday, at the conclusion of the spring meetings. Hopefully, the audio and video provider will be very good, unlike last year. I'm going to hope to play some of those clips on next week's edition of Folks Talking Sports. He still says that the Big 12 men's basketball is the second best conference in America behind the NBA. No, sir. Big 10 says no, sir. Last year, the SEC said no, sir. I hope Big 12 is, but it ain't. But he was on Big 12 today on, what is that, Thursday? Thursday? No mention of women's basketball. Not a lick. We talked Olympic sports, talked football, talked men's basketball, talked about WBD and Paramount and all those possibilities. Not a mention of women's basketball. Yet we're going to double down on, okay, whatever, dropping the ball again. But I digress on all of that. That'll do it. Thank you to Laquita, Kanitra, and AD. Laquita, I'm coming to you first.
Mhm.
As soon as I can find the scene for you, put you on the big screen, and you can share with the audience what you want to share. Let me do this. I have an issue here somehow. So let me do this real quick. Because she was on TV, last Sunday
Yeah. Yeah.
with colleague Jason Bristol. She got
Mm.
other things to discuss. So here you go. It's your world.
All right. It's always great to be with you guys on a Sunday evening. Again, I want to reiterate that I have a book that's out. It's an ebook, and it's called The Playbook Beyond the Game. And it's geared to help you student athletes prepare yourselves for NIL, kind of evaluate yourself for a transfer portal, and think beyond the game financially and then what's next. So it's an all inclusive workbook, worksheets. You got to think, you got to interact with the book, and it's out right now. So if you haven't seen it, look on all my social medias, which is basically my name, Laquita Thompson, and I'll be posting it everywhere. And right now, real quick, I have a deal that I'm doing for $14.99 where you can get the book, but then you also get the transfer portal scorecard that's going to help you evaluate and make better decisions with that as well. All right, so that's it for me.
Mr. Moore, get ready, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me put your info up first, and then you got it. Well, let me go ahead and find it first. And then you can talk some Texans or NFL or whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk, well, I won't say it. I'll be petty, so I won't do that. So,
Hey, as always, folks, it's a pleasure and it's an appreciative opportunity to be able to sit here and chop it up with this fine gallery of sports personalities. You can catch me on IG and Threads at AdMax Corner, Twitter, 80 underscore more 64. The Texans will start OTAs and all. They've already started, but the press will get a chance to be able to go out there and start having a look at them. I think the first one's next week. I'll be getting down, and every 2 or 3 days we'll be able to get out there and see what's going on with OTAs and everything. So be on the lookout for all my platforms. We Texans, uh, the sky's the limit. We're looking to get past it and get to the AFC Championship. The Super Bowl will be in SoFi Stadium in February. So I'm looking forward to being there and watching the Texans. It's time. I think it's time for a curtain call for them to come out there and do it. So I appreciate it as always. Thank you.
And I'm going to say this, Mr. Moore, I'm going to get him in the habit of doing this. I'm like Coach Sampson. I ain't ashamed or afraid to ask for money. So if you want to help Mr. Moore and his trip to the big game, because he'll be approved, plan is to be approved once again to cover the big game, representing the Houston Round Ball Review Media Group. Yes, that's right. Reach out to him, reach out to me, and help us make some of our trips. Kanitra, anything changed for you regarding social media?
Nope.
Okay. So for Folks Talking Sports, follow ID and Threads at Folks Talking Sports. Thank you to everyone. Get ready for Game 4, OKC and Spurs. Who y'all got tonight? Will it be 2-2 or 3-1?
2-2.
I'm saying
I'm
two.
saying 2-2.
Me
All
too.
right.
Yep. Me too.
I'm going to be different. It's going to be 3-1. So,
Mm.
yeah, let's be different. All right,
Okay.
but follow Folks Talking Sports on IG and Threads at Folks Talking Sports. So for A.D. Moore, Laquita Thompson, Kanitra Pulliams, I am Chris Gardner of the Houston Round Ball Review. Thank you very much for your time and joining us in the conversation on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Until next Sunday, since 1994, the Houston Round Ball Review. Local name, global perspective. Y'all take care. Peace.